Hello, welcome to the afternoon stream. Let me take a couple of minutes here to get everything set up. All right, I think that might be a little bit better. Try a little something different here. All right. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, I think we're live. Okay, I think we're just about ready. How is everyone doing? All right. I think we're all set up. Welcome into our afternoon stream. Good meridian. Whether that is AM or PM for you. Welcome on in. Finished our morning stream on twitch.tv a couple of hours ago. Went really well. Thought we'd do a little afternoon stream here. Let's see. Oh, I thought I had a Discord window open, but maybe not. Well, let's check that out for a little bit. I guess we don't need that window open. Let's open up Discord here. All right. And I wanted to check out okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's get some. So one of the things this morning that I wanted to point out, I guess here, is we finally had a deciding vote. There is still opportunity for anyone else to vote on this. We wanted to see if we wanted to spend money on lesser insight crystals or not. Were we going to level up our gardeners with these insight crystals, or would we rather spend that money or save that money, spend it on something different? And for a while there, we had 2 versus 2, 2 votes for one, 2 votes for the other. The next day we had 3 votes for one, 3 votes for the other, then 4 and 4. So finally today we've got a 5-4 vote, and we were able to make a decision and buy a couple of insight crystals for a couple of our heroes on the governance account. If anyone out there is listening right now, you're welcome to join in and take voting. We're voting on a few different things, whether or not we want to buy a couple of more gardeners, or whether we'd rather recompound that same value back into a crystal ETH pool. And there's a couple of other things that we could vote on as well. Looks like for the most part here, 7-2 votes for buying additional gardeners. And up here, we also talked about what to do with the 163 jewel that we had and buy some more gardeners. The biggest thing there was buying those gardeners. And of course, we've started to make that move. All right. Let's go ahead and do our next thing. So one of the things on the to-do list, pull up a to-do list on my other screen here. And that is checking for updates and contests in some various places. So let's check out DeFi Kingdoms, see if they've got anything going on in announcements, and it looks like they do, so that's cool. Let's see what kind of announcements they've got here. Tilt-Proof Tuesday. Yes, it is Tuesday, isn't it? And so we've decided to have some fun this week. There will be 4 contests, all running simultaneously, all for 24 hours. Each of these contests will draw 25 names. Of those 25 names, the 12th and 13th name on each list will be the ones that receive a prize. What? Why draw 25 names if only 2 people are going to win? Let's just read a little bit about this. 11th and 12th name will be the ones that receive a prize. It's interesting. The first contest winners will receive a blue egg. The second will receive a green egg. The third, a green egg. The fourth, a yellow egg. All right. Or gray. I'm sorry. Gray and then green. But there's another twist. If your name is drawn in more than one of the contests in any position, you'll win a gold egg. Wow. Okay. So if your name is drawn in more than one of the contests, with these 4 contests going and 25 names drawn, then you will have a chance. Well, no, not you'll have a chance. If your name is drawn in more than one, you will win a gold egg. So that sounds really good. All right. 25 names pulled over 4 different contests. However, I think normally the number of people that we have going in here is about 1,000. So you're going to be one in, well, there'll be 25 names out of 1,000 pulled 4 times. All right, so then it says, look in current contest, click the little party hat to enter. I think some people think that this is the proper one to click on, and of course you can. But really the one that we want is in the current contest, and we can just click on this link right here to go to current contests, and we can see October the 11th, today, 12th and 13th get a blue egg each. And so we've got 25 winners, but only one of them is going to, or 2 of them are going to win the blue egg. So we'll go ahead and this is where we want to participate. It's already up to 500. Wow. And then here, of course, we've got the 12th and 13th winners for a gray egg. So we're going to go ahead and do that one. Here we've got the 12th and 13th for a yellow egg. And did I miss one? Oh, here for a green egg. Yeah, there we go. As a reminder, the 12th and 13th names drawn by each instance of the bot will be the winners of that color egg. Anyone who has their names drawn by more than one of the instances of the bot, regardless of the position, will win a gold egg, right? So, yay for us, 100%. So make sure that you get in there and join all 4 of those contests. Let's check out a couple of other things that are going on here for the waifu bot stuff. Any announcements in here today? Does not look like it. There's a couple of general chat stuff. Oh, was I recently? I did say something. Let's see. It would be difficult actually. I don't believe any of the bots on the market do this. How would that be difficult? Only official waifu account is selling right now. Okay, and apparently one service is doing this, but it's not bot service, more like someone help manage your account service. Interesting. I wonder why it would be difficult to recompound. All it means is you claim, and then you are going to take that value and split it between, you know, either the coin that you have or the crystal and whatever, or it's going to split it into multiple coins, buy those liquidity pool seeds, and then do a deposit. There's obviously got to be more to it. Otherwise, these guys wouldn't be saying that it's difficult, and maybe other bots would be doing it. So, I do not know. Okay, let's check out, there's nothing in the announcement section. Let's check out the giveaway section. Looks like nothing in there. We can also check the game room, and nothing in there as well. So let's take a look at Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. Let's see. Announcements, nothing in there. And it looks like, do they have a, not sure they have a giveaway section. That's all right. Anything for the Fight Club? I don't see anything in there. DFK Helper has general and about. Nothing new in the change logs. Oh, yeah, maybe something yesterday. Auto dueling is up. Zell says, okay, we'll check that out. And for next DFK hero, nothing in the announcements. And nothing in the giveaway section there either. All right. Very cool. Okay, so it looks like the only thing that we need to look out for, if anyone is following along, is go over to DeFi Kingdoms official Discord, look in there and check out the current contests. And there's going to be 4 of them down there for blue egg, gray egg, green egg, and yellow egg. Make sure you click on them all. And then, of course, make sure you read Bolon's reminder. And, of course, the announcements has more information about it as well if you wanted to get the full details on Tilt Proof Tuesday for today. And that should get some winners in 24 hours. All right. The next thing that we want to do is check out Fight Club. So I was talking to someone in Fight Club, maybe it was in Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms channel. Let's see, their general section, I think. So up a little earlier, I had asked, oh, maybe it wasn't in here. DFK Fight Club? Tournament chat, maybe? Ah, here it was. Yeah, I asked if the raffle had been done yet, and it's going to be tonight around 9 p.m. Eastern time, which means 8 p.m. my time, Central. All right. Very good. So I'll try to be there for that. And then Crypto Grady is probably going to be giving away the things sometime. I'm not sure if he's going to go live. I think he might. And a couple of other people are going to be doing their summons, although I'm not sure if they've expressed quite an urgency as he has to get the winners to pick their heroes, because he doesn't know which heroes are going to be set aside for that. I think he's got almost all of his heroes, or at least a large number of his Gen0s, not all of his heroes, but his Gen0s, not doing any questing or something right now, waiting for the winners to be selected so then people can choose which Gen0s to summon with. And so in his last video, he seemed a little anxious, like, hey, let's get on this right away so I can get my heroes back to work. Oh, man. All right. The next thing that we want to look at is, I was going to look a little bit more detail at DFK Helper today, and I am going to, but I think I might do that off stream instead of doing a lot of that on stream, as far as like setting it up and configuring it. Let's see. Maybe I'll make a video out of that sometime a little bit later. But I do think that I'm going to look a little bit into it a little closer and just see what it is. We'll see if it's worth $35 a month. I think it could possibly be. We were talking about this a little bit on stream yesterday. In fact, oops, let me, some reason my chat room isn't set up. There we go. We were talking about this on stream a little bit yesterday, and part of my concern was a monthly charge ongoing could add up to be quite a bit over the course of some amount of time. And we would have to find some kind of justification that would make that worth it. And yesterday, I think we were getting into renting out Gen0s, and it turned out that renting out a couple of Gen0s automatically would actually help pay for it. But I was thinking those Gen0s would have to be rented in between their questing times, and that's not really true. So we could have our heroes for hire and on a quest at the same time, right? And because of that, then I might be able to set them up for hire myself. Over the course of the last day, we already had 2 of our Gen0s be rented out. Remnella was rented out for about 20 crystal. And I think Gen0, who is, I think, under control of the 808, our DFK2 account, right here, is also rented out for 20 crystal. Of that, we got 19.5, 19 and a half, I think. I'm sorry. 17. No, it was 19 and a half. So that was a decent amount. And if we can get the other 2 rented, one of the things that we wanted to look at, I guess, real quick was getting set up with, we're looking over here at the Rock 808B account. So she's on a quest right now, and I thought we had her hired. So did she already get rented? Oops, let's just check this out here. So that looks like we're at 19, and that, I do think that she was rented then. We can check it out and see a little bit more closely. I think if I just go to here and then look at history, then we should be able to see somewhere over the blockchain. That's too far back. That's too far back. So it's interesting. I'm not seeing. Do we need to refresh that? -9 crystal. So that was me making the deposit a little while back. Claiming some rewards. Getting some gold. Did we not put her up for hire again? Oh, man. Tell you what, let's check out agent, list for hire. Ah, she is on a cooldown. Okay. So she's on a cooldown from 3 hours ago, it looks like. So this should be 3 days of time in between. And so if we're waiting 2 days and 21 hours, then that would be about 3 hours ago. And if we are looking at this wallet, let's just double check here. Um, 7C0. Oh, I'm not looking at the right wallet. That's the problem. Is it this one? Yeah, here we go. Got to look at the right wallet information if you're going to be doing that kind of thing. So here we can see DFK Gold. Gold, more gold. Oh, and this is back for some amount of time back in the past. And I think we will need to refresh this. 7C0. That is this one. I think I should have gotten something there. So I did create the auction. And what time was that? Can I tell? I guess I could view that on the blockchain. I always hate this. Let's see. Let's check this out here. Oh, it's not going to let me do that. All right. So a few hours ago, we bought some gold. We bought some stamina potions. And this goes back to a couple of days ago. So I'm not sure why I'm not seeing. Oh, filtered by DFK Gold. That's the problem. There we go. Oh my goodness. Filtered by tokens all. There we go. All right. So 2 hours, 55 minutes ago, we got 19.25. So she got rented very quickly, actually, which is a good sign for 20. And of course, we get 19.25 out of that. Makes me think that we might want to raise prices next time. It is October the 11th, and Galena got rented 19.25 again, and it should be ready at, let's see, it's about 4 o'clock right now. It's about 1 p.m. 22, 10, 14 at about 1,300 hours. Okay. And why I bring that up is because putting them back on the rent or putting them back up for hire is not going to be automated. So it means that I'm going to need to keep track of when those heroes should go back up for rent. And of course, with only 4 Gen0s, and the only ones I'm doing it with are Gen0s, maybe it's not too big of a deal. It might be kind of interesting to see. Let's check out something else here too. Let's go to the portal and Archdruid, infuse, add our hero here. Let's reset this. Let's choose a different account. And from here, we can go to Archdruid infuse, add heroes. Let's go ahead and choose this one right here, Posey. And then let's hire a hero and reset, and let's just choose any number of heroes here. So if we want to say, if we want to have let's just check out Generation 1's 10 of maybe like something 8, 9, 10 of 10s. Let's just try that and just see what we get. So for 9, 10, I see a hiring price for 10. Hiring price of 13 and 15. So I wonder what makes a good hiring price for these or not. So here we've got an uncommon. Gen 1 Wizard Mining. Maybe the fact that it's misaligned in a couple of places. But then we look at what's going on here with 15s. Seer Foraging. Not sure if that's a whole lot better, huh? That is right there. 100. Going for 15. 8 of 10. 20 summon fee for that 8. Here we've got 10 of 10s for 15. Eight, 9s, 10s. There's another 10 for 15. All right. Here we've got a Gen0 thrown in the mix there. Summon fee of 30, higher price of 16. It's interesting. You know, I was renting mine out for 20. Here's one going for 16. This is a Berserker Gardening, which I have one of those also. Level 6 is not level 10. Of course, I don't think mine are all level 10s either. I think I've only got one level 10. All right. Let's check out something here real quick. Hang on. All right, let's see. 9878 says, when you put a hero up for rent and it's sent on a quest, that quest is decremented from its remaining quests, isn't it? 9878, I'm not sure what you mean by that. When you put a hero up for rent and it's sent on a quest, that quest is decremented from its remaining quests. What are remaining quests? If it's sent on a quest, Brass Breed Valve, hey, how you doing? Let's look for Monk Monk and try to make a Ninja Ninja. There you go. That would be good. .97A, if you could elaborate a little bit more on what you mean. I think when you are on a quest, it just completes the quest normally. I don't think there's any decrement or reduction of anything as far as I know. And then Bass, let's say you're saying, let's look for a Monk Monk. Do you have some other side of that yourself? One of the things that we could do is, oh yeah, we got the pirate right here. I just kind of arbitrarily selected that one. But yeah, we could. I don't think I'm going to actually do something right at this moment. But yeah, maybe we could, right? So what we have right here, if you're looking, for those of you that aren't overly familiar with it, we're looking at a tree of stuff here. And if I am using a pirate, Posey that I selected, just kind of randomly selected that one. But as Boss is saying here, if we select a monk, we can go for a ninja. And that might be kind of interesting, especially since we, since Posey's really hunkered in as a pirate. Maybe that would be good. Let's check that out. That sounds like an interesting play right there. So let's go ahead and look at monks and subclass of monk as well. Sardo, hey, how you doing? Bass says, no, I'm just watching. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for pitching in a suggestion. I think we will go ahead and look at that a little bit. So let's say apply, and let's see what we get as far as potential monks for hire. And wonder if we could get an ninja. So we've only got two possibilities, but look at this. The higher price isn't crazy, at least for this one. The higher price is pretty high for this one. This is a Gen0. It is a rare. This one will be much less expensive. Let's first check this one out and let's see. Boss says the floor is 120 crystal for a Gen 1 1010 monk if you're buying. I think what we're going to need to do is it's actually going to be a Gen 2, right? So I've got a Generation 1. Posey is a Generation 1 hero, the one that I have already. So we could get this Generation 1 or this Generation 0, but it would still come out as a Generation 2, right? So without me having to look around real quick and close out these windows, do you have a quick, easy way to see what a Generation 2 would be like? Been looking for a Monk Pirate Generation 1 to pair to buy. Not much left with advanced abilities. Couldn't get one. Yeah. Let's check this one out here, though, and see. This is Crystal Veil 16930. And let's pair that with something I might have over here. So one of these places, let's see if I've got Posey already plugged in here. Nope, not there. And that's, I don't even know what this is. It's something different. Okay, that was for Fight Club stuff. And don't have it there. All right, so let's check this out. So this is 16930. And that's this monk right here. And then if we get Posey's number, I think I can get that from here. No. Let's load one CD. I think this is it. And if we choose heroes right here, I think Posey is a pirate. And let's view. Yeah, so there we go. Let's grab this address right here. And we can plug that into here. And then we can compare, and let's check that out. So we've got our pirate mining with a monk fishing. And let's see what our chances are for some of this crazy stuff down here. So summoning chances. Ninja 14%, Ninja 14% in the subclass. Mining is going to be 42%, fishing 39%. Not too great on the rarity, but that's not really what we're after right here. Let's check out some of the other things that we could get down here, perhaps. So for active 1, it looks like we're looking at 0.29 and 0.02. For active 2, 4.39. That could be okay. 15% chance for passive 1, advanced 2. That could be good. And then for stats unknown, we've got advanced 2, about 1% or 2% just about for that. All right. We could end up with luck and strength as our 2 highest possibilities here. And we could also end up with wisdom and strength there. So let's see. Monk, pirate, and ninja, thief for mining. I think thieves make pretty decent miners. And if we look back up to here at our chart for what all these are, and we can see for mining, pirate could be pretty good. Monk is not too shabby. Thief, it's a little worse than I thought. And ninja is pretty bad. So if we're trying for a ninja, we're going to hope that it is not going to be the mining aspect of that. And then what was the other one? Was it gardening? Was that the other side of it? Oh, fishing. So yeah, that could be pretty good. Ninja fisher, right? So we look at fishing. Ninja does make the best fisher for that class. And for this particular pairing, we're looking at 39%. So that could be pretty good. Maybe we could get a ninja fisher. Right? It's going to cost us 51 crystal to do that. Should we try it, guys? Ninja Forger also not bad. Yeah, absolutely. So if we check this out here, if we did end up getting a ninja, then we have right up here at 125 row. Not too bad either. It's also possible, though, we've got to keep in mind that most likely we're going to end up with a monk or pirate for those things right there. And if we're taking a look over here, monk, not too shabby on mining, pirate, not too shabby. And then if we did get fishing, then the pirate is not too bad. The monk's a little bit worse, but we could end up with something a little bit lower than that as well. And don't forget about the sage down. See, Sardo says, don't forget about sage. Down the light garden is also good. Yes, yes. And do we have the possibility for a sage there? Did I not see that? Let's see. I didn't see, but we do have we have minor chances for some other interesting things. A Dark Knight and a Shapeshifter is in there as well. So that's kind of interesting. Yep. Okay. So maybe we want to try this. It looks like we've got a potential very interesting thing there. the other thing that we want to try before we actually pull the trigger on that one is, would we prefer to go over here? Maybe this Gen0 would get us even a better hero out of it. So it's a Serendale 445. Let's come over here and look at 445. It's this Gen0 right here, Monk mining. And if we take Posey's number, that's our hero right here, and look at it right there, let's compare those. So now, if we use that Gen0 instead for the Monk, now we have 2 mining professions, which I think could, that might not be the best, right? Because if we're really trying to shoot for that ninjas really don't make great miners, and we're almost positive to get a miner. So really, maybe the better thing to do would be having that higher chance at the fishing, right? And this one over here, the non-Gen0, gives us a much higher chance at the fishing. That's the first thing I'm noticing. But let's continue on down and see what other possibilities we might be able to get from this. So we also see that we've got some subclass stuff. I don't know if that's really going to matter too much. It might give us a little bit higher chance of some things. We do have mining there. This one's going to provide luck and dexterity a little bit more. Let's come down here a little bit and see what we've got. So again, it's the same 14% chance, 17% chance on the subclass there to get a ninja. Then we've got the same, just about pirate and monk abilities, but a much higher chance at mining. And now our fishing has dropped to pretty dang low as compared to what we've got over here, where our fishing, I think, was 39%. So that, let's pull this over here. So that does have a major difference. Of course, then we get a much higher possibility for legendary or mythic, as opposed to what we were looking at earlier, only 2.5 and 0.61%. What are some of our other abilities here? Basics, advanced, only 0.88. We've got a 1.1%. And remember, the last one we were looking at had a pretty hefty 4.39% and a 14.94% on the first one we looked at for some of these advanced abilities. So I'm really thinking that that other Gen 1 seems that that's going to be a little bit better. Let's see, Sardo says, consider gardening better than mining since you eventually get the sage. Yes, that is true. And so if we had, if we were focusing a little bit there on mining, I think you are right. Oh, and I think that's what you were saying about the things to be looking at here. So if we follow that tree up, right? So if we focus our ninja a little bit more on gardening rather than mining, even though I think my pirate has some mining, but if we use that other Gen 1 monk that is focused on gardening, then we're going to end up getting a better gardening for ninja, and of course the sage makes an awesome gardener as well, right? So I think that's your mindset right there. Yeah, very good. Let's see, maybe there are some recessive monks to increase your chances at the ninja? Possibly. What are we doing, Bravos Labs says. Bravos, we are about to hire a monk, just kind of at a whim. Boss Breedveld just kind of suggested, tossed it out there, are we looking for a monk? When I was really just kind of looking around at something different. Hiring prices is what I was really looking at in general. And now I think we're about to summon. All right, so it looks like we're going to need, if I'm going to do that, and we're going to be trying to focus on a ninja, then let's take another look over here at what we might get for our stats. Luck and wisdom. Wisdom could get a good boost. Strength could get a good boost right there. And if we look at other charts, if y'all are curious, I think most of y'all here in chat already know, but sometimes people don't know, that if we are looking for a ninja right here, oops, can I highlight that? I can't highlight that. But if we're looking at a ninja right here, we can see what some of the higher numbers are. And one of the ones is agility with a 12 right there, and dex and luck right here. So if we want to focus on those a little bit more, we can. And we might want to use then an agility stone when we are doing a summons as well. So we are going to need to buy one of those, I think. And Bas says, don't blame me if it goes wrong. No. This is something I am definitely working out on my own. If we do that. And I notice that I don't have enough crystal. Let's just take a quick look at this one more time. So that's going to be 51 for that. Plus we're going to need some other stuff, I think. Let's go ahead and take a look at my jeweler and see what we've got in here. Let's see. Bravo says, I mean, you've been advertising, Rock. I don't think so. Have I been advertising a little bit? Maybe Twitter, something like that, saying we're doing our live streams. I think I did something like that yesterday or the day before. All right, jeweler. Let's see, we've got a little bit of funds in here. Certainly enough to do something. Let's go ahead and just withdraw all of that for now. We can put it all back in later. And let's make a note that we've got 18.36. I'm keeping track of some various numbers, so I want to make sure 18.36 is what we want in our crystal wallet right there whenever we're done with this. Oh, you mean I've been advising? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I misread it for advertising. Have I been advising? I don't know. Offering some bad advice, maybe? Some degen advice? Just going all in? Okay. Let's take a look at some of the stones, perhaps. Let's go to, I don't think I've got anything in my inventory here. No, I don't. Let's go over and take a quick look at what we've got in the DFK3 account and the inventory here. We might have some interesting stones here already. So there's our finesse stone. There's our fortune stone. A couple of eggs. And that looks like it. Oh, swiftness. Okay. Swiftness would help for agility, and what that's going to give us is a +4 to agility instantly, and then +3 to primary stat growth and +5 to the secondary stat growth. I think this is the one that we would want to use when we're trying for a ninja. Bravo says, this summons is a product of Baz. Oh, Baz advice, yes. Yes. Okay. So let's send that item over. Let me hop over to another screen and check out this thing here. Never go wrong with vigor. That is true, right? We could absolutely do vigor as well, but I think I might want to focus a little bit more on the agility for the ninja. So let's go ahead and send that item. Did I click on it? Send to that address, which should be Rock 808. And we're going to send one. Let's approve that contract. And confirm. All right. And I think we need to send over some tiers also. I don't think I've got any tiers over there. And we are going to need some number of tiers. Let's move 40 tiers over. I don't think I'm going to need that many for sure. In fact, I'm positive I won't. But better to be safe than sorry and a lot of that stuff, so I don't have to do it again. 40 tiers, send items. Let's see. And Beth says, I'm a sucker for those subclasses. Yeah, I have not been paying a lot of attention to those subclasses recently, but since it just so happens that we've got a pirate, just Posey just wasn't even thinking about that when we selected her to go in there and look. But then when you were mentioning Ninja, I was like, oh, that could be kind of interesting. Yeah, we could end up with a pirate ninja, monk ninja, or something like that. That wouldn't be too shabby either. Yeah, lots of possibilities there for things. This will be an interesting summons. So let's get back over to DFK 1 account. And now I should have a decent amount of crystal. I should have a swiftness enhancement stone for the summons. And I should have some tiers. Just verify all that. Slow blockchain games. Swiftness stone has not shown up yet. Let's do a refresh here. And then we might have to go hunt it down. Yeah, all kinds of possibilities that we could get with this one, right? Would be really cool if we also hit on some of the advanced stats as well, since that seems to be all the rage. Everyone's talking about that these days. I haven't really been paying a lot of attention to those things. But I think since we are getting closer to PvP, and I think PvP and some other aspects of the game will take advantage of those advanced stats or abilities, then that might be something good to look at, right? All right, so we still don't see it here. Let's just go ahead and check that I did actually send it from DFK 3 inventory. Pretty sure I sent the item. Yeah. Oh, no, it's still there. Oh, maybe I just approved the contract first and I didn't actually send it. So let's go ahead and send it this time. Confirm on the blockchain. All right. We don't necessarily need to wait for it here. I'm going to assume it's going to go through. Looks like it just did. So let's pull up over here, get back to our DFK1 account. And then now we should see our swiftness stone in here. We'll just verify. We've got the tiers, we've got the crystal, got the stone right there. All right, we're good to go. Let's go ahead over to the portal. Here we go, guys. Just a prompt to spur of the moment summons. This is all on Baz's shoulders here. It's going to be their fault if we totally crash and burn on this. So just you know who to go take the torches and the pickaxes to. Let's see. We wanted Posey, which let's see where she's at. Not right here. Posey. So we're going to select this hero and hire a hero. Goodbye. Good vibes. Oh, good vibes. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. No, I'm sure it's going to be very good. We've got such good chances of everything, right? We've got, 14% chance for ninja, 14% chance for ninja there. We've got 30% chance for monks and pirates in these places. 39% chance for fishing. So we are really looking good. I think this is a really good opportunity. And in that case, I guess the positive spin is thanks to Baz for bringing that up. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been thinking about this and we could have missed it. So let's see. We want to be looking for monks and monks. There we go. Apply. And more specifically, we want to also be looking for generation 0s or 1s. And was there something else that we were specifically looking for? Because I think last time, a certain number of summons, something like 7, 8, or 9, something like that. There we go. So this is, I think, the one that we're looking at right here. Hermond, Distant Thunder. Oh, that's a nice name too, right? So let's just verify that that is the one that we're looking at. Yep, Hermond, Distant Thunder, 16,930. So that does look good. All right. Baz is going to bring us luck today in this summons. Let's go ahead and hire. Let's throw out some Gaia tiers if we can, and it looks like we can't add any. They're both just level 1s and level 2s, so we can't add any more right there. And then let's use our enhancement stone of the Swift. It's going to add +4 to agility and +3 to primary and +5 to growth. Normally, I probably would not be using a stone on a couple of commons or uncommon right here, but I think because we're trying for Ninja and I'm feeling some good vibes from Baz, I think that we are looking really good here. So cross your fingers. Oh, there's something else that we probably want to do as well, right? I need to start doing this. Let's halt this for just one moment. Let's come over to the marketplace, and I'm going to start doing this little tradition of ringing this little luck bell right before we go into the portal. There we go. So let's find that again. Select, hire, or select and bring this one in, add our stone. Okay, now we're ready to go. Begin that summons, since we just clicked our little luck horseshoe. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. And Sardo says, we clearly missed a lot by not focusing on them from the start. I really agree with that too. I don't know how important it was or how important it will be, of course. I don't think anybody does quite yet, but certainly if we had started a little bit earlier, I think that would have made things a lot more interesting. In fact, I was telling my sister about this recently, and because of all the stuff going on here now, she has gotten a little bit more interested, and it might pull her into the game just because she likes that kind of mix and match and doing breeding, like a breeding plan with different traits being passed along, dominant and recessive genes and all that kind of stuff. So just that aspect of it, and there being more to it than just I'm trying to select a class and a profession. But now that there's a lot more to it, it could be kind of interesting for a lot more people. Bravo says, are you dragging your sister into this? I don't know if dragging is the word. I just started to tell her about it a little bit, and she got excited, and she said, oh, I think I might be interested in that. And so I've been telling her a little bit more, and she's excited on her own. So dragging is not the right word, Bravo. All right, let's go to the summoner. So here we've got our little hero crystal. Let's pet it a little bit and rub it and call it George. Love it and hug it and call it George. That might date me a little bit on those cartoons. Click on the open. And then confirm on the blockchain. Drum roll, please. Dun, dun, dun. I need a good drum roll sound here to play in the background or something. Here we go. Here it is. What did we get? Oh, cross your fingers. The suspense. Taking its own sweet time. Well, you just take all the time you want if you're going to end up a bunch of stuff there. Ah, not quite what we wanted, but I think we still might have some good stuff. I like the aesthetics overall. Let's go ahead and click on this beauty and see what we get. So we ended up with a pirate again. Oh my goodness. That's really interesting. So fortunately, we had a Gen 2 level 1, 9 of 9, pirate common, and flip that card, and let's hope for something a little bit more interesting back here. Mining, okay, with strength. Good. So that's good, right? That's not a bad hero. Sweet wings, at least, yeah. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's bad. So here's what we got. We've got a mining pirate, and pirates are pretty high up there on the list for mining, right? So that's good. And not only do we have a mining pirate, but we also have a purple strength. So we got the +2, plus we got the 2% ongoing. And if we take a look at this, we've got a 72% strength now right here, 21% secondary growth on that as well, right? The agility and the stone, unfortunately, did not help us, or does not help us at all with this necessarily, right? So that was a little bit of a waste, perhaps. But overall, I like it. I like the aesthetics. Pirate is also a pure breed, well, not a pure breed, but pirate also would help us to do something again in the future with maybe another monk. But let's go ahead and take this one right here, and let's take a closer look at what this might give us later down the road. And did we hit any let's get into here. Did we hit any advanced or anything like that? So here we've got, was it under, it's not hero matching. Hero data, plug that in. Oops. Am I off numbers there? There we go. So here we've got our pirate, generation 2, level 1, 9 of 9 summons, which is good for the summons as well. our stats right there. Here we see that we have a blue stat there. We used a lesser enhancement stone to get a little bit of extra agility, which could possibly, I don't know enough about the summon stuff. I'm fairly new to summoning. I don't know if that ultimately might help be passed down to a child eventually, where maybe that would help a little bit more. And then we've got some stuff here. Let's take a look. Actives and passives, looks like it's all just basics again. So we did not hit anything there advanced, which is a little unfortunate, but that's not too bad. We've got Pirate Thief. We've got Pirate Berserker Priest. I'm a little scared of the Thief back there, but maybe that's not going to matter too much. We've got mining. So that's also not particularly great. I mean, it is great for this hero. But if we were going to be using this pirate to try to go for a ninja and then a sage, we would prefer to have gardening a little bit more prevalent there. But I do like this. Pirates, maybe mixed with something else where we're trying to go for mining, I think could be really good. Maybe we would mix a pirate with something and not worry too much about the advanced class. I know some people are probably going to yell at me for, no, you always summon with, something that gives you a chance for advanced. And I don't always do that. A lot of times I do, but not always. So we've got strength with intelligence, dexterity, strength with endurance, vitality, and we've got earth element. All right. And then some of our dominant genes down here. Very interesting. And visual unknowns is no advanced anything down there either. All right. So let's, there's our new pirate. So I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy we did that. We've got a nice new pirate here. Let's see what that might be worth on the market in just a minute. Let me catch up in chat. Lisi's purebreed. Yeah, not bad overall. Is he a purebreed though? So one of the things that I haven't done a lot of summoning myself in the past, but my thought is that for the class, it has to be class and then the same class in the recessive one. And then for the subclass, it has to be something, and then the same for recessive one on that too. Not that it's class and subclass. Is that right? I could be wrong on that. Let's see. Mining, purple strength, not bad. Yeah, it's not bad for that. So much going for, yeah, it had a lot, 14% for both of those, and either of those really. So if we would have hit a ninja on either of those, I would have been happy too. So it is close. And I mean, we could technically try again in a couple of days if that option is still open. So suppose you'll be ready to go again in a few more days or a day or so. Sardo says, seeing this makes me want to summon, but I feel like I would wait till parents are at least level 10. Yes, that is something right there that is, I think more and more people are kind of getting to the point also where you would want to wait until you're level 10 so you can throw out more of those Gaia tiers. And that's why I had brought over a couple of my Gaia tiers. I wasn't sure, I had forgotten if any of them were level 5s or not. I didn't think any of them were 10s, but 5 is most important for that immediate +1. Level 10 is only a +1%, really. So is that, I thought every 5 levels, you got a +1 and or a 1%. So it sounds like what you're saying is just a +1 for the level 5 and then another 1% for the level 10. Gotcha. Summoning tend to be a bet either way. Yeah, there's a little bit of a chance. Yeah, a little bit of a chance for that either way. It is a double miner for summoning to increase the mining chances 5 or 10%. So yeah, so that is right. So here was what I would call like a pure breed for the mining. So you're really getting a much better chance. Yeah, it does get better every 5 levels, but I haven't paid a whole lot of attention. We could do that real quick. So this is Chaz Willowfall. Chaz, what a name. Chaz Willowfall, I like that. And he's a pirate. So that's going to be good. And mining, so he's going to get right to work in the mines. Nice. Let's check out this here. If I bring in Infused Crystal, add, and check out, let's reset that. And bring in one of our Gen0s. I guess we can't because all of our Gen0s are currently on quests. Actually, we're really looking for a level 10 anyway, so it doesn't have to be a Gen0. And I think I've got one level 10 in this account. Yeah, so here, if we select this one, then we should be able to add plus 10 Gaia tiers, adds the +1, and then we add it again. Yeah, and that is +1 to the primary percentage, which that, I think, isn't that going to be a little bit better? I mean, it does only add 1 to the percentage, but once you start beefing that up a little bit more, then you're talking about a pretty decent chance. And of course, you're saying 1% at level 10 for primary stats, and I think something was set up here, 1 point on average in 100 levels. Is that really true? So I think what that means is that you're going to be getting a 1% greater chance every level that you have, a 1% chance to get a +1. And so it seems like it might be a 1 in 100, but I think it's actually going to be higher than that. We could run some random numbers through there and we could kind of see what it's going to be, but I think you'd end up getting that a little bit more than 1 chance in 100, but not much, you're right. So yeah, that level 5 is going to be the most important, and then I think this is okay. It adds a little bit to it. Let's see. Bravo says, Yo, Rock, have you gotten a chance of reading through the new tokenomics? I have not. Would you mind to explain a bit on how it works? I haven't had a chance to read through it. Do you have a link for that? We could check it out. If there is new tokenomics, and I think what you mean by new is something with the Clayton. I mean, newer than the way that the amount of Jewel is going down, and we are splitting the locked balances. I don't know also, Bravos, if you're talking about, or you're trying to bring up me oftentimes in the last couple of streams mentioning that several people are talking about an equilibrium between the price of Jewel and Crystal, and they're noticing that Jewel is down right now and Crystal is up, and so they're expecting to, hey, let's pump, or let's put a lot of money into Jewel right now because it's gonna skyrocket up, and Jewel and Crystal will end up being the same price. And if that's what you're talking about, then yeah, I definitely do not agree that Jewel and Crystal will end up being the same price. The devs said that they were supposed to be about the same price a long time ago, right? When Jewel was supposed to be the power token on the Harmony blockchain under Serendale 1.0, and Crystal was supposed to be the power token on Crystal Veil, then yeah, Jewel and Crystal were going to be performing the same function, and the devs' idea was that there was going to be a parity between Jewel and Crystal tokens. But now that Jewel is performing a totally different function than Crystal is, right? You're not going to be able to summon heroes with Jewel. You're not going to be able to buy heroes with Jewel. You're not going to be able to get fee sharing necessarily from Crystal. You're going to be getting that from Jewel. So those things are going to perform totally different functions. And because of that, I would not be surprised at all if one of those tokens far outperformed another one as far as just a value goes. And my thinking right off the bat is, even though there's planned to be a lot less Jewel on the market, my thinking is that normal players, people who are actually playing the game, are not going to care necessarily so much about Jewel, possibly, even though, of course, there's talk about it unlocking certain aspects of the game, which could be pretty fun. My thinking is that some people just won't care about that. And I have a feeling that Jewel might actually be worth a lot less than Crystal in the longer term. But if you're talking about something else, then let me know. See, wait, we'll be better. We'll get those +1s, yeah. Yeah, we will be getting those +1s, I think, a little bit more often. Every multiples of 5, yeah. That move might backfire, though, and no, I meant the new info they released in the AMA. So I heard the AMA, you're talking about last week's, or maybe this last weekend. I think they had a couple of recent AMAs. I don't remember specifically. I do remember something about some new tokenomics, but I don't remember specifically what was said about those. I am not really much of a tokenomics, what do you want to call it, guru myself. I can look at numbers and financial stuff, and I can make some decent, what I would say is decent predictions on things. But as far as how the tokenomics of something works, I generally have to listen to about 3 or 4 other people and get their takes on that. But if you've got a link, we can look it over and I could give you my first impressions on it. If you are talking about the fact that Jewel is going to be, again, used, or some of the new things that Jewel was talked about being used for, I remember hearing about some of that in the AMA, and it sounds really good. But again, because Jewel and Crystal are going to be used for 2 totally different things, I do not any longer have confidence that Jewel and Crystal are going to be equal value of token. And by equal value, I mean, if Jewel is, or if Crystal is, $1.50 in price, I don't think that Jewel has to be $1.50 at the same time. I don't think that's going to happen. Bravo says, I was told you were, in fact, the DFK guru. Oh, man. I can make some good speculations on things, but not the guru. All right, let's take a look here at what we got a little bit more closely. I think it was this screen. Yeah. So we got some good stuff. I think that miner is ready to go. Chaz. And so we can just continue on there. And that was a little side, that little side excursion is thanks to Boz for maybe suggesting that we do a quick summon there. I think what I was really trying to go for when I was pulling that stuff up was I was looking at the hiring prices of just heroes in general. And I wanted to, and so that's why I was coming into the portal. I was coming into the portal and I was looking at something, and I was just randomly selecting a hero of mine to try to get higher prices for a Gen 1, right? And Boss here says, alongside other in-game benefits. Yes, I think Jewel is the long-term play, not financial advice. Yeah. Jewel is a long-term play. I think that because they're doing so much different things these days, you're going to really need both, right? If you're going to be wanting to summon heroes, if you're going to want to be doing, hiring heroes, all this kind of stuff, you're going to need to have crystal, and you're going to need to have a constant inflow of crystal. And the Clayton power token and whatever other chains we're on and their power tokens, you're going to need those tokens. And so if you've got 1 million players, well, let's say that DeFi Kingdoms really hits it big. We're back in a bull run. We've opened up the Asian markets. A bunch of other stuff has happened. And now we've got 1 million or 5 million players in DeFi Kingdoms. Then all of those players are going to need crystal, as an example. If we keep it within one realm. So crystal veil for now. Then those players are all going to need crystal. And if you have a limited supply of crystal and a big demand for a lot of players, then of course the value or the price of that is going to go up. Suddenly the static went crazy with the mic. How's that? Did that help at all? So you're going to have a lot of players coming in, and they're going to be wanting a lot of crystal. There's going to be a big demand, there's going to be a limited supply, prices are going to rise. So one of the things that is a little bit of an unknown right now is how many of those players are going to also want to take advantage of some of these additional side benefits. I think a lot of it depends on what the side benefits actually are and how much money needs to be set aside for that. So one of the things, and Bravos Labs, maybe this is one of the things you were talking about, is the fact that with C-Jewel, as an example here, that we're going to need to put aside a certain number of Jewel, right? So we put aside a certain number of Jewel and lock it in for a certain time period, up to 3 years, by the way, I think was the time, right? Was the max time. So I think it was 7 days to 3 years of time period that you could lock this jewel in. And then you're going to get a certain amount of C-Jewel back in return. And that C-Jewel that you get back in return, or that you can claim without taking out your jewel that is staked for this longer period of time, right? So you've got this long-term staked jewel that you shouldn't be removing. And you can then remove C-Jewel, is my understanding. And with that C-Jewel, you can do things with it. You can put that towards, you're not going to spend it necessarily, but you're going to put that towards getting access to certain game features, right? And so, but what it means is, it means that a person or player is going to have to lock away a certain amount of funds for some extended period of time. And so it's going to come down to, will millions of these players lock up more millions of dollars for access to these certain parts of the game? And one of the things, I was talking about this on a stream either yesterday or the day before, it brings me back to the idea of RuneScape. I don't know how many of y'all have played RuneScape, and I'm sure there are other games that are similar. But RuneScape is the game that I know and was playing many, many years ago, where it was a free-to-play game back in the day. I don't know if it still is. It might be. But in general, it's free-to-play. And so it brings in a lot of players. RuneScape was one of the top games for several years. And it brings in, or brought in at least, a lot of players into the game. And I was one of those free players back in early 2000s. I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. I love this kind of adventure game and questing and all this kind of stuff. and you owned a single hero, you could say, and you walked it around and you did quests and fights and other kind of things. And so there was a part of RuneScape where you couldn't get to these certain parts of the game unless you paid, or there was like a premium section for different things. And a lot of people just didn't want to pay to play that game. There was a million people or several million people in RuneScape, but a lot of those people did not go into the premium sections. They didn't care to put up or front up that kind of money, or maybe even any money at all. But of course, there were some people that went in and played in those premium sections. And I have a feeling that Jewel and C-Jewel and the aspects that come along with that might be seen a little bit more like this premium section of DeFi Kingdoms, where people that have a decent amount of money that they want to stake for longer periods of time might go ahead and do that, and they might play in those parts of the game. But I think the majority of other players might totally skip that. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the amount of money that's required to earn this C-Jewel and how quickly it can be earned. Something else I seem to remember is that C-Jewel is going to be soulbound, which means you can't transfer it around. So that might be a little bit of a limitation for some things as well. I don't know. And Bravo Slabs, you're saying that totally sorts my question. Okay, so if that's what you were getting at, then yeah, that's my opinion. Now, of course, my opinion, definitely it's not financial advice for sure. I have no idea what's going to be coming down the pike, and I certainly see that DFK right now is not like, it's unlike RuneScape so much that there might be a totally different dynamic. And what I mean by that is RuneScape being a free-to-play game in general, people weren't paying any money. And there's a lot of people that just are totally against putting money into games. But since DFK practically requires that people put in some money to at least buy a hero, right? Because you've got to buy your assets. You've got to buy your hero. You've got to, pay a little bit to level up. Then maybe all of the players that even get into DeFi Kingdoms at all are already going to be people that in general don't mind paying something for games. And that could change that dynamic quite a bit, right? Boss says, yeah, maybe we'll see now that Jewel is not a game token. It will possibly be listed in exchanges. That could be bullish in the next bull market. It could. I'm not sure if skeptical is the right word. I'm not sure how I feel about Jewel being listed on a market, though, because then you could have a lot of other people speculating on a token that I would much rather see being a lot more stable, right? I would much rather have people that are playing the game and invested in the game itself be really the only ones that are holding that Jewel long term. If somebody could just come in from any other exchange and say, oh, wow, Jewel's up today, I'm going to buy $1 million worth of Jewel, and then the next time that we've got a bear market, they dump $1 million worth of Jewel, back, just because they're moving around, very flighty, no matter, just getting in whatever they want and getting out whenever they want. That's not going to be very good, I don't think, for the DFK and the holders of Jewel long term. But if we know that the holders of Jewel long term are those fewer number of people who have to jump through extra hoops, not getting it on an exchange, but instead having to get into the game and having to do things through the game to get the Jewel to hold on to and stake and put into certain long-term locked value, then that's the kind of thing, those are the kind of people that are much less likely to sell in a bear market or to cave under pressure real quickly. And I think that would help stabilize Jewel in the longer term. Again, I'm not a big tokenomics guru, so I have no idea if my train of thought there is anything reasonable or not, but that's just how I look at things. Let me catch up in chat here. Let's see. Bravo says that move might backfire though, and no, I meant the new info they released in the AMA. Yeah, I got that. Boss says, if you think about it, the Jewel supply was supposed to be 500 million, and now it's only 125 million, and there will never be another one minted. Meanwhile, crystal supply will be doubled. Right. And this is something though that we have to be very careful with. So it was originally meant to be 500 million, but right now it's not, right? So right now, I think it is close to or around the 125 million max that it will ever be. And then of course, it is being burned at some kind of rate, which I forget what the rate is right off, but it's not insignificant, right? There is a decent amount of Jewel being burned and will continue to be burned. And so it's going to get a smaller and smaller amount, which in general would mean that you've got a deflationary coin, right? In which case I think it would be good. But I'm not sure if that really matters too much if, as right now, if you have got a certain number of players that have been using it in the game because they want to play the game and they want to level up their heroes and stuff like that, then they might continue to hold a lot. But I think a lot of people in the DeFi Kingdom space right now want to play the game. And what happens then when they don't have enough crystal to do the things that they want to do, to buy that Gen0? So let's say there's a really great Gen0 that comes out on the market. You've got, let's say you've got 10,000, 20,000 Jewel, and you've only got 5,000 or 4,000 crystal, but you've got 20,000 Jewel, and there's this good Gen0, or good something else, or land comes out, and people can buy land. Or what about when buildings come out? And what about when we can build armor and make armor and all this other kind of stuff? These people are going to want to play that game. I think the people we've got in right now, some of them do want to invest, but a lot of them want to play. And if they don't have enough crystal, then they're going to trade in their really not as useful Jewel into crystal, which can get them buildings and land and armor and Gen0s and new heroes and all this other kind of stuff, right? So the incentive for the benefits that we get is really going to have to be good for people to stay in Jewel. Because I will tell you right now, of course, right now we don't really have much incentives to stay into Jewel at this very moment, right? Those things that are talked about haven't emerged yet. But I'll tell you that I've already spent probably a good 1,000 Jewel maybe in the last week or two, converting that over to crystal so I can actually play the game, even though my intention was to hold on to that Jewel because I wanted to take advantage of some of this fee sharing and some of the other stuff. But when it comes right down to it, I'm finding myself selling that Jewel for the token that allows me to actually play the game. And so, and because of that, there's some sale pressure for this. Now, again, that might change once we actually have the features in place that give the advantages that Jewel is going to provide. We'll have to see how much advantage that actually is. Bass says, but yeah, agreed. Crystal will always be needed for gameplay. I think both can do very well. Yeah, I think both can do very well. It's just going to be a matter of, I guess, the sales pressure and the gameplay pressure. If there's not a lot of gameplay with Jewel, just like I was saying, people might be selling it more than trying to buy it. And when people are trying to sell it more than they're trying to buy it, then you're going to have a reduction in price. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? I would be fine if Jewel was a 10-cent token. That's fine with me. It doesn't really matter how much the value of Joule is, as long as it is providing a decent size of return in crystal tokens, right? So if Joule itself was worth 10 cents, but it's providing me 1,000 crystal a day in rewards, that's fine with me, right? And then whatever the price of crystal is, if crystal is $1 or $3 or whatever, in other words, a much different value than Joule, I wouldn't care about that. Let's see, crystal will get 3 to 4 times the demand of Joule, right? I hate to speculate on specific numbers like 3 to 4 times, but I mean, I could certainly see that. I could also see more demand, right? So if you've got 1 million players, again, trying to play the game, and not that very many people want to do the investment side of it or care to put in a bunch of extra money staked for a long period of time to get these extra benefits, then you might have a very small number of people that are getting those benefits. And by very small, I still mean maybe a couple of thousand, but a far cry from the 1 million players that we hope to have, right? Boss says, yeah, maybe we'll see now that Joule is not an in-game token. It will probably be listed on the exchanges. Yeah, I see. We already talked about that. A lot of whales controlling the market without even playing. That's true, right? That is true. I think that the DFK dev team is on the right track by having these long-term stakes of Joule actually provide C-Joule or some other unlocking for real gameplay. That will rather than and because it's soul bound and you can't sell it, then that also means that those whales aren't necessarily going to be plunking in millions of dollars into a liquidity pool that they will then be able to pull out rewards on an ongoing basis, right? And that's something else when you're talking about the tokenomics of that AMA, is I do think that the fact that they are doing a soul-bound token like C-Joule really is a game changer for how the whales are going to or not going to be able to manipulate the market so much. In other words, if you're going to be able to put $1 million into something, some investment vehicle, and if we're thinking about being a whale, or if we're thinking along the lines of what a whale might do, you've got $1 million and I want to put it into an investment vehicle that's going to earn me 300% APR or something high in that, I want to be able to pull out that money and then be able to use it or be able to diversify into other investments or something like that, right? Or be able to spend that or pay my mortgage with it or whatever it is. But if the main value that they're getting out is stronger gameplay only, which is soul bound to the account, then it's possible, I suppose, that you might have those whales putting in a bunch of money, getting a bunch of C-Joule, which is bound to the wallet address, and then selling the wallet address to a different person, right? They say, hey, I've got this wallet that's got, 500,000 C-Joule bound to it. I'll sell it for $500 or whatever it is. I think we might see a lot more of that happening then. But the problem is, I don't think that that's going to fly very well because, of course, those wallets have what's the word I'm looking for here? Passphrases and keywords there that anyone could get into, or once someone has the secret passphrase or the secret keys, that they could get access to the value that's in that wallet, right? So I think for crypto game like this, selling an account, it's not as easy as just selling an account with a password and then the new owner just changes the password. You can't do that. And if the C-Joule is soul bound to the wallet address, then that really is probably going to nullify selling that. No one's going to buy a wallet address that's been owned by somebody else, right? It would be pointless for me to sell you a wallet address that says, oh, here, I'm done with this wallet. You can take it. I'll sell it to you for $10. And then, of course, I've got the private keys for it, or I have a copy of the private keys, and I can recreate that wallet and drain the wallet then if I wanted to. So that really isn't going to fly quite as well. And what I'm getting at with this, if I've gotten too far off track, is the fact that I think that the DFK dev team has done a really good job in setting up this new style of tokenomics, if you want to call it that, where a whale is not going to be interested in plugging in $1 million into Jewel, where they're only going to get C Jewel, or mostly C Jewel, which would allow them to play the game, because that doesn't give them anything back that they can take out of the game with them. So it's mostly going to be people that actually want to play the game in longer term that would be investing that kind of money long term, because they want the extra features for the gameplay itself, because they like playing the game, right? But that also, it leaves me with an interesting, and maybe other players also in an interesting position, where I do want, for myself, I would not only want to play the game, but I also want to be earning, you know, $3,000 a month of income off of whatever it is that I'm doing here. I do have a mortgage to pay. I do have bills to pay. I do have other things that I need to do. And I would rather that income be obtained through some kind of an online job, if you want to call it that, or an online experience, and crypto experience even better. But what it might mean is, it might mean that DeFi Kingdoms might not be that place where I'm going to be putting in, you know, $300,000 or something. All right? If I can't get that return back. Let's see. Next thing here, look at what happened with Axie. Yeah, Axie is another good example of some issues. When you've got a bunch of whales getting in, they pump something up, everybody gets hyped about it, they just sit there, they collect the rewards, and then they pull all the way out. And I think DeFi Kingdoms, rightfully so, does not want that. And when I say we, I think we that love the game and want the game to continue and want to see it grow and succeed, even though I do hope to get some value and investment gains out of DeFi Kingdoms, I definitely also don't want it to be in a position where we've got these whales plugging in millions and millions of dollars only to hype things up and then pull out, and then a bunch of other people lose money, which of course, if a whole lot of players who maybe aren't very savvy in tokenomics and aren't very savvy in the stock market and stuff in general, and if they feel that their value that they've invested suddenly drops quite a bit, then they're going to be hurt by that game, or butt hurt in a way, that they might say, oh, I'm done with this. They took all my money, when it really wasn't DeFi Kingdoms, or they don't want the bad rap of, hey, I lost all my money in DeFi Kingdoms. Right. And so in that particular, or for that particular reason, I think having some longer term investors are good, but we also don't want the speculating investors that just pump and then dump. All right. Okay. Enough of that ranting and raving there. Okay, it is a little after 5 o'clock. I think I did just about everything that I wanted to do here, which was mostly looking at, oh man, I still didn't do what I really wanted to do here. Let's get back in here again. I need to select a hero. We need to hire a hero. And what I was really trying to do is I was trying to look at the prices of, let's reset this. And I was trying to look at the resale prices of one of the things was a Generation 2, a dual outro. I don't think so, Bravos. That's a good thing to bring up. I like your input right there. Duels is something I want to play around with, but let's make that something that we're doing on the early morning streams. I have a little bit more energy for that kind of thing, and I'm going to need to learn. So I've never done a duel before, and so I think I'm going to need to have a fresh brain and all this kind of stuff to get into duels and all that kind of thing. But yeah, Boss and who else? Sardo. I do streaming on Twitch. I don't know if y'all have Twitch accounts, but I stream on Twitch in the mornings for about 3 hours or so every morning, as well as YouTube. So if y'all want to catch me again there, of course I will be streaming again tomorrow afternoon on YouTube again. So we usually do about 2 streams a day for several hours each. And I'm going to be on here maybe another 5 minutes, I think, or maybe 10 minutes. Let's bring it up to at least 2-hour stream. And then we'll talk a little bit more. Also, guys, I think y'all know, if any of you had been interested or even got involved with the Fight Club, from what I understand, Fight Club is going to have their raffle tonight. And it's going to be in about 3 hours, a little bit less than 3 hours from now. So make sure you check that out. And I am definitely going to be doing something. In fact, I might even stream during that time. Maybe I'll stream a little bit in another 3 hours just while they're doing the duel. Or perhaps I'll join a stream if someone like Crypto Grady or Sergeant Filthy McNasty or someone like that is doing a stream where they're bringing guests on. Maybe I'll join them for that and see how that goes. One thing that was a little alarm that I want to check out, but for getting our Gen0 filled up with a stamina potion, getting her back out to do mining. But before I do that, while I'm on this page, I want to at least take a quick look at hiring 2 things. One is we want to hire oops, what did I just do? One thing is that we want to hire a a Generation 2 with something like 8 or 9 summons. Those are going to hire for a tiny, tiny amount. Higher price 1 for a Generation 2. So that's not a good thing, is to try to hire out your Generation 2s. And then the other thing that I wanted to look at is Generation 1s. See, those are going to be hired out for quite a bit more. And if they've got 8 or 9 of their summons, it looks like we could get maybe 10. If they've got 10, there's another higher price of 10 for that. But I seem to remember that it went up fairly quickly. So we've got a couple of 15 higher prices. I guess it just depends a little bit on what's available. And maybe there's more going on underneath the hood for these hires as well. Boss, if you are headed out right now, then see you later. If you're going to stick around for the few more minutes, then I will take that as your goodbye when we do head on out. But yeah, it was fun. I was really great to have you here in chat. I think you've got some good input there, and it was fun to chat a little bit. So what if I were to hire out my level 1 Gen 1, like 10 of 10s? Let's just check that. Gen 1, 10 of 10s, apply. And so we've got 10, 15, 15, 16, 18, and it quickly goes up to 20 for the higher price on some of these. And these still, I'm seeing commons, priest mining, priest gardening, commons, berserker gardening. You know, that's not a great combination here. Although I do see gardening and wisdom could be a good match there for that. But some of these are hiring out for 20. if we were to sell or if we were to buy a Gen 1 to use for some of our summoning that we're about to do, let's go to the tavern and just check out the prices on these. Last I looked, Generation 1 10 of 10s were pretty expensive to buy. Well, I mean, relatively. Let's go ahead here and check for, let's check 9 and 10 summons at Generation 1s. And then apply. So yeah, 82, 85 is some of the floor prices of these. And then I think they quickly went up, and this still is 9 of 10. There's a 10 of 10. But 9s, 10s, and 90, and it's not too quick. I mean, it's not too slow until we're at 90, and then 100 coming up pretty quick. I don't know. There's a few at 95, quite a few at 95. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're only looking at 10 of 10s very briefly here. So 85, 88s, 90s pretty quick. And then 92s, 94s, 5s, not a lot at 95, 96 area to buy those. Okay. But that would be so that's kind of the floor price then of the Gen 1 10 of 10s. Probably around 95, I would say. And then some people are trying to undercut that. Well, I don't know. If we say 95 is the floor, it looks like it's a lot, goes quite a bit. So maybe 90 is the floor, and then some people are trying to undercut that. All right. Anyway, I think that was the last thing that I wanted to check on stream today. Bravos Lab, I think you've got a good idea for duels. We do want to get into duels maybe tomorrow morning. So let's think about that a little bit. Tonight, I am also going to be checking out the DFK Helper bot. I'm slightly skeptical on the 35 per month ongoing payment forever. And then that's just up to 100 heroes. When you've got more heroes, it's going to cost more than that. And there's some other stuff going on. So is it going to be worth it? I want to do a video or two, or maybe even a couple of days of a trial period and just see how that goes, and maybe chat a little bit about if that's going to be worth it. The thing is, it's got to provide more functionality than the waifu bot, which is a $60 one-time purchase. And even though it's twice as much, I mean, I've already had the waifu bot for about 2 months, which means that it's paid off now if we're comparing it to 35 a month. And so now everything is free as far as that goes. Anyway, I'm going to be looking into that a little bit more as well. And I think that is just about all we've got. Bravo Slab says, "You hate me." No, I don't, man. Yeah, I appreciate you offering suggestions. Let's see. Oh, did you end up getting your sandbox NFT? I ended up giving you that gas money or whatever there at the whatever that last bit of money was as well. I'm going to assume you had enough to buy it. Oh, and then the last thing that we need to do for today is to come over here and get into our DFK3 account where we have Galena. And look at heroes. Galena, she's on a quest, but she's actually finished. So let's go ahead and look at active quests. Oops, let's refresh this page. Let's see, Bravo says, maybe you can try the outcome out tomorrow if you down. The outcome is, I guess the outcome is a game. The game is not that great, but some animations are. Maybe. I'm not overly hyped about trying a bunch of new stuff, but I could possibly be persuaded. Let's see, let's collect this hero. We also need to update our spreadsheet. So let's kind of prepare for that a little bit. And we'll go ahead and confirm on the blockchain. And let's see what we get here. This is our 20th. This is our 20th quest that we are recording. 158 XP. So the last XP we got was 178, which was looking more promising. That one's back down to 158. And then this is the first, second, third, fourth time in a row that we have gotten a little bit elevated gold return. We used to be getting 86.48 and now we're getting 88.1. So here at the end of level 4, it seems to me anyway that the amount of value that we get from these heroes is actually going up a little bit now that she's so close to getting to the end of level 4 and almost to level 5. Anyway, we've got 2 stamina points right now, which is exactly what we were looking for to now give her a stamina potion. The stamina potion is only going to give 25 stamina right here, 25 stamina, which means that by using that on her 2 that she has, then we'll get the full 27. And then we can send her right back for another full 27 stamina quest of mining. So we'll let that go through. And then we are going to get her back to active. Oops. Gold mining here. 27, select, continue, start. And we're going to set an alarm for 5 hours and 10 minutes again. And that's when she will be ready to be collected and go out on her next quest. Oops, there we go. Let's see here. Alarm clock. 5 hours and 10 minutes. Start. All right, there we go. And that is the end of the day. All right, everybody, thanks for being here. Boss Breedveld, Bravos Labs. Who else did we have a little earlier? We had Sardo Fritz. Thanks for being here. And I think there was 97A came in a little bit earlier as well. And whoever else is lurking and hanging out in the background. Sometimes we've got Mystical Meows, Nobel, and a couple of other folks back there. Really appreciate all of you being here. And until then, till next time. Yeah, there's 9A7A hanging out. Until then, hope you all have a good evening. Again, check with Fight Club stuff if y'all want. If you did partake in that, and see if y'all are going to win the raffle tonight. Remember, there's some Gen0 giveaways, and that should be a lot of fun. And until I see y'all either tonight or tomorrow, have a good time and rock out.